game I want to talk about. We got the Texans, who have been. I mean, give it up for CJ
Holy
Stroud,
shit,
man.
is he good? He is good, man.
Yeah, I
That
I
is
have to
crazy.
I have to come out and admit straight up, I missed on CJ
Me
Stroud.
too.
Um,
I think
saw
everyone did. I
saw a
think
decent
everyone
chunk.
did.
Yeah, I saw a
Outside of
decent
like,
chunk. Yeah, I saw a decent chunk of OSU games when he was in college.
hmm
He was thrown to maybe the best receiving core we've seen since the Alabama days or the LSU days,
right.
and he was doing great stuff. He had some great games. Never really super impressed me more than those games down the stretch. Near the
Right.
national championship, and in the college football playoffs. That's when he really impressed me. But
hmm
before that, I mean, I was never blown away. I was never really blown away with his arm talent. And I've been so wrong. I mean, he is
No,
making the
and then
Texans look like a fucking contender. I mean,
right, and then on top
it's
of that,
amazing.
Aiden, you have the Ohio State quarterback tag on him, which seemingly
Yeah.
never works in the
Yeah, yeah,
NFL.
yeah.
So I'm sure that I mean, not even I'm sure that is a thing that people were holding against him. I mean, clearly non-rightfully so. Like it was a wrong
hmm
opinion. But yeah, we got you got to give that guy his flowers. He looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, love it. Love to see it. So the CJ Stroud led Texans are going to Cincinnati. They're going to be playing the Red Hot Bengals, who are 6.5 point favorites. 48 is the over under. Listen, I am very interested with this game. This one might be my my favorite, maybe not the best, but my favorite game of the week. I think the Bengals are going to be clicking on all cylinders
Yep.
as we've seen.
Yep.
I've also, like I talked about last week, if you're a betting man, this might be the time. I did it last week or 2 weeks ago after that bye, but this
That was
might
the
be the
real time to
time.
do it. I know what you're going to
Yeah,
say, and that was the real time to
exactly.
do it.
Sprinkle them, maybe Super Bowl, sprinkle them, win total, whatever you're interested in. Maybe even Burrow MVP. There's no
Yeah,
quarterback right
no,
now that's running
right.
away with
Yeah,
MVP.
I was going to
You
bring that
never
up.
know.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, go ahead.
He looks like Joe Burrow. He looks better than Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
It's insane. He already, how long has he been in the league? What, 4 years now?
yeah, it's
Four,
got to be his
five, maybe?
fourth, I think. Yeah,
Like, and he already has his reputation that Tom Brady gained 10 years into his career of, I may start the season slow, but don't let me get hot by week 6 or you're all fucked. Like, Joe
yeah.
Burrow has already reached that status in the league.
hmm
They're my pick to go to the Super Bowl now. I had
I
the
love it.
Ravens. I
Let's
think the
go.
Ravens are unreal. I think that's going to end up being the AFC Championship game, if not the AFC
I'm in for it.
Championship.
I am in
If
for
not
it.
the
That'd be
AFC
sick.
Championship, the best AFC divisional game that we've seen in a long, long time. So I think the Bengals are going to roll this weekend. I think they're going to look great. I think the Texans are going to do everything that they can with what I still think is a limited set of talent on that team. Like they're still
Agreed.
rebuilding, obviously, but they're
Agreed.
rebuilding in the right way. But
Yeah.
the Bengals are going to take care of business, but Texans are going to make a few plays to keep them in the game. Bengals take away in around the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think the Bengals win this one. 6.5 might be a lot, but when you have two high flying offenses, I don't think it's that much. I could see them winning by 10 potentially, or
Right.
it being a close game.
It's
It's going to
it's
be
one of those
between.
games that
Yeah.
if the Bengals end up winning by 10 or even 13, at the end of it you'd be like, wow, like the Ron Burgundy meme, you'd be like, wow, that escalated quickly. Like it
Yeah.
was a great game the whole time, then the Bengals just out of
Uh-huh.
nowhere score a ton of points.
I'm kind of feeling. I'm kind of feeling this over. Maybe like
Oh,
a
me too. Me
maybe like
too.
a 31-28 type of
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into this Bengals. Um, this over right here. It's only 48, which is a little surprising, and I think that's a good, that's a good bet to
Is
definitely
it
get on.
in Cincy or Houston?
It's in Cincy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
they're going to score at
yeah,
least 35.
yeah. No, I think it's gonna be a high flying game. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a fun game to watch. Another thing I wanted to shout out there and throw in, D'Amico Ryan's, man, dude.
Great
I mean,
job by him. Great
he's
job by him.
he's really doing a phenomenal job, and I mean, all the credit to him and Stroud as well, keeping it going. The only thing I have to say is actually two things. So I got Dameon Pierce on my fantasy team. He's been rendered useless this year. He gets like
Yeah.
13 carries for 45 yards a game, no touchdowns, no
Yeah.
receptions, 4 points a game. I loved him last year. A little disappointed in his usage. All right, I have to get that
Which
out
I
there.
mean,
But
coming into the year,
yeah,
wouldn't you think that it's like, okay, defensive head
Ro-
coach, young
Rookie
quarterback,
head coach. Yeah,
they're
yeah,
gonna run the
yeah.
ball. They're gonna run the ball, and now he looks like Dan Marino. So I mean, they're not running him much.
No, no, yeah, it doesn't make much sense. And then on the other side, can you let me know what receiver is going to have its game? Is it going to be Nico Collins? Is it going to be Tank Dell? Because I have both of them in this one league, and I swear I picked the wrong one each time. I picked Nico
I mean,
Collins. He got 14 points this week. Fucking Tank Dell's on my bench with 29.
even
I
Dalton
just
Schultz
switched him
last week
out.
was getting targets.
Yeah, so I mean, just can you let me know in the presser before the game, like we're gonna feed this guy, and like don't play Damian Pierce because
Yeah,
it's not happening. It's not his
but
day.
that's even more so of a credit to Stroud and how much he's been
Yeah, yeah.
spreading out the ball, and he's not relying on one guy. And it's not like that is an
He looks like
offense.
a vet.
Exactly. How impressive was that drive last week to win that
Oh my
game?
god.
That was insane. Mac Jones, I'm one of his biggest defenders. I've given up. I've given up. He's not the guy. Um,
The
but
disclaimer on that.
but you could give him 3 minutes with 3 timeouts, and he wouldn't be able to pull off what C.J. Stroud pulled off last week.
3 minutes. Of
Honestly,
yeah.
let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He can't do
I
it.
love watching the Texans team. It kind of disappoints me because I looked at the Falcons team similarly, and they just don't have the quarterback to do it. But I think talent wise, this Falcons team, the two teams that I seemingly bet every single week, whether it works or not, is the Texans and the Falcons. Because
For me,
every
that's the
time,
Bucks. For me, that's the
yeah,
Bucks.
because every time I see it on the slate, I'm like, hey, they could do it. Like they could pull it off.
They have the
And
pieces. They have
yeah,
the
exactly.
pieces
They
to
have
get
the
it
pieces.
done.
So and then every once in a while it just doesn't work. But it's gonna be a great game. I love it. I'm also going Bengals, but plus minus 6.5. I could definitely see it getting closer. We're gonna both take the overs. That is one of our official bets here.